Hey, how's it going? Now I know I'm only supposed to do one vid a day for the diary stuff, but I thought, what the hell? Post some random stuff on there. Not gonna hurt. Um, and so one thing that I've been trying to do is, which I have never done before. I was the type of person where I love listening to music. I'd come home. I don't know if any of you know who the record label like G59 is. Um, uh, but like Lil Peep, uh, Ghost Main, Puya, uh, Cuff Boy. That that type of music was what I used to listen to. I haven't really listened to music since my mom passed away. Um, but I always used to listen to music and sort of hang out, and I never really used to watch positive stuff. I used to always think, oh yeah, whatever. It's just, but it really does make a difference having just a little bit of positivity in your life. So I wanted us to watch this real quick.
I remember sitting in that chair at the hospital in the doctor's office, and I remember them coming in and they looked scared. And in that moment, I knew something was wrong. I knew it was worse than what we could have even imagined. And when they let us know that it was stage four, that was a huge shock. I remember asking, how long does he have? And she said a year and a half. I literally am feeling that moment right now because when you're told like that your person could be leaving, that is gut wrenching, absolutely gut wrenching. I don't know what I'd do without him still. I'm gonna work really hard every day so I can have him and my kids can have a dad. And
It's so beautiful.
I'm Jacq, and my husband's name is Marc, and we have three kids. Marc and I lived on the Oregon coast, and we lived in the middle of nowhere in a national forest, and it was miserable. We hated it. This wasn't the life for us, the house life. It was the bus life. So we bought this bus, and I found it in an empty parking lot, and I was just like, I'm just gonna shoot my shot. And I told Marc, like, let's sell everything, let's move again, and if it works, it works. And the man said, yeah, I'll sell it to you. And it took us about 8 months to build. It was a lot of work, but this was the get out of the house bus. We started traveling. Marc was still working at the prison, which is his correctional officer job.
I honestly I can't say. I've been part of many different families. I've been with a lot of different families, seen a lot of different families operate and hang out with each other, hang out with other people, and I can honestly say, families that do stuff together, like even if it's just on the weekends and stuff, it's just so impactful, and it's so good for children. Uh, that's one thing I always try to do with my daughter is, you know, entrench just the value of family, because it's so understated now, and it's sad. It really is. But it's such a beautiful story, and it's true. You take stuff for granted. I know I took my mom for granted, something ridiculously, and you don't know what you have until it's gone, and unfortunately, you really take it for granted until it is gone. And it sucks.
We were your week-long warriors, I would say. Go out there for a week and then come home for a week and work. And our main goal was to get him home because without him home, we couldn't really dive deep into this experience. We were kind of just like
Oh,
dabbling in it, and we're seeing all these families that were doing what we wanted to do, and we knew it was possible. It takes a lot of bravery to leave your home, your job. I remember sitting in that chair at the hospital in the doctor's office, and I remember them coming in and they looked scared. And in that moment, I knew something was wrong. I knew it was worse than what we could have even imagined. And when they let us know that it was stage four, that was a huge shock. I remember asking, how long does he have? And she said a year and a half. I literally am feeling that moment right now because when you're told like that your person could be leaving, that is gut wrenching.
It's horrible.
Absolutely gut wrenching.
Absolutely horrible.
I don't know what I'd do without him still. I'm gonna work really hard every day so I can have him and my kids can have a dad. And I'm Jacq and my husband's name is Marc. Old man. And when he said that, I was like, oh, I'm in the right place, you know? I felt really good all while we were trying to save Marc's life. And I believe he deserves that. Normally it takes 10 months to get into this doctor. I did a year and a half forward, and I was like, this is all I get? Like, what? And that when Marc was diagnosed with stage 4 colon hard 4, it's very daunting. It really is.
There we go. Sorry about that.
I guess during that time we were dealt just some really unlucky cards.
Yeah, I got.
Marc was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had metastasized to his.
I can attest that, sometimes life just throws you shit hands, and it has nothing to do with if you're a good person or not. There's just some crazy ups and downs.
Liver and his lymph nodes, and it was just kind of everywhere. Marc does have a genetic mutation. His cancer spreads extremely fast. It's very aggressive, and it can go to places that you just don't want it to go. There's not a lot of knowledge behind this. There's honestly not a lot of people know about cancer in general, and I remember asking, how long does he have?
And with that cancer medicine, it's so sad because, it. Some people it works, some people it doesn't. Bodies are just so different, so terrifying. My mom was actually born with cancer, and which is probably something I'll later go into, which is why her whole life she was always taking prescription pills. Legally it was given to her by a doctor, but that's where some of the stuff stemmed from. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. And I will be right back. My wubz is barking, so I will be right back. Okay, alright, sorry about that. I'm gonna figure out how to cut stuff out later, so. Okay.
She said a year and a half. A year and a half, and I remember thinking a year and a half forward, and I was like, this is all I get? Like, what? And that was not good enough for me. I remember respectfully telling her, I'm sorry, but this is not the place for me because I have hope that my husband will live, and I have hope that someone can save him. And I went home and I stayed up all night, all day, putting in so many hours looking for the world's best doctor. And when I say the world's best doctor, I really truly mean, I found the world's best doctor, and I wrote him this long letter, pretty much saying the things that I said to you. I have this husband who wants to live with his kids. I told him about Marc and his story, and there's a lot of parents who work and kids who go to school, but
I am so glad that I don't have the mic on me. Wow. Whew. And it's so sad because he actually really it's living life, you know? It's so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. She is, good Lord, this is one strong woman. I will put the GoFundMe down at the bottom, and I will put their all their socials and everything up. Just, good Lord, that is just. Phew, okay.
I have a husband who is home with his kids. Like his whole entire being was spent really truly living with his children. You know, he wanted to wake up every day with his kids and go on a hike, go on adventures, show them the world. And I believe he deserves that. Normally it takes 10 months to get into this doctor. I didn't have 10 months. I was working with maybe 12, you know? And that was if I was lucky to get Marc there. And 7 days later, I got a call back from Dr. Fong. And he
Wow.
said, I would love to take Marc. I remember flying, and it was still very raw because we didn't know. You know, you're going to this doctor and you're just hoping, you're
Wow.
hoping that he can save him. And this Dr. Fong, he came in with this big cheesy smile, and
I was right about to look at those two. That dude looks like he loves life. That's rough, man.
he tried the whole time to keep a big cheesy smile on our face, all while we were trying to save Marc's life. And I remember sitting there and him telling Marc, you know, this is scary. He's like, but my job and my goal is to have you die an old man. And when he said that, I was like, oh, I'm in the right place, you know? I felt really good. So up front, this is where Marc's driver's seat is. He spends a lot of time up there. It's really nice to be able to sit up here and just jam.
Look at the skateboards and the longboards. That's cool.
Like watching the news go by. Over here is where we keep our books and stuff, just like little stones and
I dig it.
knickknacks and things that we've found along the way, like Marc's face over here is one of my favorite things.
You guys saw the little marijuana. You know they are smoking hella pack.
Things that I have in the bus with him.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's okay. And then behind this wall, a lot of people are so thrown off when they see kids in the bus. They're like, where do you even keep these kids? They're behind the wall. That's where we keep them. We have a triple bunk. Up on top is Birdie, our oldest, and then in the middle is Rogue. And down below we do have another bunk, but my little one just didn't want to be down there, so we turned it into storage, and she's still a little baby, so she either sleeps with me or she can go on the couch over there and sleep wherever she wants, but most of the time it's with me. Over here is our kitchen area. I absolutely love it. It's got a little piece of us from everywhere, and our house is mostly filled with things that we love and appreciate.
You know, nothing there. Nothing there that they don't need. That's sort of cool. Uh-oh.
Marc and I spend a lot of time cooking. We really love.
Yeah, I don't get how you
together.
do
That's
that with
been our
like
favorite thing on the
children,
bus.
bro.
Before we didn't
It's
have
dangerous.
a lot of time to cook together, and now we have all this time, so we really make it a point to spend some time in the kitchen. The kids can play on the floor and do school or play with their Legos, and these guys will either sit in here or sit on the
I
couch.
really hope that the audio
nice
is
because in the
okay,
evening
everyone.
they can
I
play
apologize.
their
I'm
games and
gonna,
watch
I
TV, 'cause
promise I'm gonna
this thing kind of goes out, and we'll move it from there.
try and learn all this stuff.
We do have a mini split so we can stay nice and warm or nice and cool, and a diesel heater down below for those frigid winters. There's Birdie braving the wind right now. But this is where our couch is, where Rebel sometimes sleeps. One of my favorite things about this bus is our big, huge windows. It is the whole entire bus that is covered in these windows. You can literally see anything and everything as you're traveling. I mean, look at this. Also, they prop open so we can get lots of airflow or just get a nice breeze. So back here is where Marc and I really hang out. We spend a lot of time in our room. I actually find my kids in here a lot of the time. They really love to snuggle with us, so they'll come here in the morning, we spend a few hours, and then we actually meet back up like halfway through the day to just kind of have a moment where we're together again. But I have this really wonderful huge shower. People are always like, where's your shower curtain? And the truth is we really don't need one. The water falls perfectly straight down right to here. It really is awesome. awesome because I can have 3 kids in this long shower, and I throw 2 over there, have 1 in here, throw them back over there so they can dry off, and then I don't have to worry about like water everywhere or just like a big mess. We do have a couple dogs, so it's nice to come in here and spray them off, or just to take a shower in general. That's also really nice in bus life when you're out here like in the desert and you absolutely need one. I have my little sink right here. Um, it definitely doesn't get used at all. It's just for looks. That's why it has this little wood piece on here. But over here, we have our bed. One thing I didn't want to give up was a bigger sized bed. We watch movies or even just kind of hang out and play games, board games, or look out the window. A lot of the times we're parked like by a beach or in the mountains. So we really use those big windows that I was talking about.
Oh
to
my
take in views and
goodness.
just like experience things like on a different level, I would say.
Man,
Marc put in his 12 rounds of chemotherapy. They were really hard. There was times where I didn't know if he was going to.
I'm worried how this is gonna. This is actually their second bus. Schoolie. Is that a? I'm gonna imagine that's a school bus.
Gonna make it
Okay,
to that
sorry.
next chemo round. A lot of us didn't. There were times where we looked at Marc and we thought, like we were gonna try our best to get him there, but we don't know. And we never shared any of that because it's really heavy for other people to carry. I remember there was times that he was just kind of passed down on the couch, face down, and I remember our kids, what's going on, Dad? That was really hard to have to like be a mom and a wife and kind of keep this boat going, even though it's sinking at the same time, slowly but surely. I'm still processing a lot of it right now because it was very heavy to have such this weight of life and death on your, not just my shoulders, but Marc's, and
I
to have kids in the midst of that,
that's what I was right about to say. When kids are involved with life and death, uh, that was one thing that was real tough, was explaining to my daughter, uh, how her grandma was there 5 minutes ago and now completely gone the next, and that was really tough. I myself am trying to deal with it and then have to explain it to her. Oh man, I had never cried so hard in my life. Okay.
keep it together for the kids and not let them know, like, their dad might not be here next year, to keep the hope. That was really hard.
Hope
Every
so.
day I had to
Hope is so important. It really is.
wake up and convince myself, keep the hope, because once you lose that hope and you go down in those trenches, it's really hard.
Very hard to get out of those. Take it from someone that's been involved in trench warfare before. It's brutal. I talk a lot about on this channel about a lot of the downs. I have had far more ups in my life. I just want to put that out there.
To get out of those, it's so hard. So I work really hard every day. I wake up and I truly believe that Marc is gonna live, and
Yeah, God bless her.
he powered through those 12 rounds. There were times that he literally couldn't feel his fingers or toes, or his skin was like peeling off his hands, and it was just super intense. And I remember going to Dr. Fong, and you get this scan, and the best way I can describe it is like scanxiety. It feels like your world is literally about to end, but it could go good. But you're just like, it could go bad. And I remember getting that scan, and I'm sitting in the room, and Dr. Fong says, you still have 7 spots. And I thought, man,
Shit.
but they're all smaller. And
So it's
was
working.
The goal was.
So that means that the chemo was working. That's awesome. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Just to shrink them a little bit. And sure enough, Dr. Fong said, I want to see you in 2 months. He's like, take a break from some chemo, go enjoy your family, and come back strong. And he's like, and I'm going to fry the absolute shit out of these lesions. And he did. Marc went back in. He chopped him up like a fish. They filleted him. He's got a nice big scar to show for it. And actually, yesterday was Marc's expiration date, and we're here at Schoolipalooza. We were not supposed to be here, and he's here, and he's living, he's thriving. He's cancer-free, which is huge.
Oh my God.
That was not supposed to be
Wow.
in his cards.
Wow.
But somehow, some way, a lot of things have lined up. Marc himself, he is extraordinarily strong, I would say. He is like the epitome of can-do, will-do.
That's awesome.
He never let this distract.
You know, with everything that was pulling him down and up against him, I mean, literally, his own body was enemy number one to him.
Or stop him or slow him down. Like, he just kept to the beat of the drum. He
loves stuff like this.
He picked up literally every single broken piece along the way and said, I'm going to build my family to be even stronger. My relationship with him has really grown.
That little girl giving me the finger? Hold on. Was this? That little girl's giving me the finger.
Relationship with him has really grown. We don't take any day for granted, any moment. We're kind of obsessed with each other now, but I mean for good reason, I would say. And I like it. I like being obsessed with him.
I forget how special that whole journey was sometimes, because like, in a sense, like, I made it, I'm cancer free, and so like,
dude is stoned.
sometimes it's just out the window. Like, I forget, like,
that smile though, man. Oh man, that smile.
Dude, you just had stage 4 colon cancer that spread to your liver, like, and like, I'll take my shirt off, I'll see this huge scar here, and I'm just like, damn, like, what a story. And I don't know, bro, it's a trip.
Yo, I will send you all away with that. It was a trip.